Welcome to Java Hangout channel. This is a second part of the interview questions. I will continue from the where I left. So how do we implement a cache using Redis? How will it evict a cache when there is an update at the DB side? So generally cache we use for performance related one, right? Better performance. So in the Spring Boot applications, we can implement this cache mechanism by using Redis, which is already built-in one, which provides the three different annotations at the rate cacheable and at the rate cache evict, at the rate cache put. Different annotations are there. So implementation cache, just examples, example I'm giving, just high level this one. So for example, if you want to cache some data, user data, so we can use like at the rate cacheable value is equal to that is users whatever we are getting, and key is user ID. With this, it will be cached. Next time, whenever request comes, right, for this one, get user by ID, then it will check in the cache. If it is present, it will take from there itself instead of going to database. With that, the performance will be better, right? So that one. And so whenever any data update happens at the backend database, that time we will miss updates, right? For that, what we need to do, we have to clean the cache by using at the rate cache evict. So here we need to give the value and key, same value like whatever users we used, right, and key, so that whenever any update or modifications happened at the backend database, then automatically it will clear that cache. Then whenever request comes, it will check cache. Cache will be empty. It will go to database and it will fetch the latest copy, latest data from the database, and it will be cached. Like that, we can implement the cache by using Redis. So next one is what are the major differences between Oracle JDK and OpenJDK? So, so what we need to do sometimes, if you mention in the your resume you worked on migration from Oracle JDK to OpenJDK, then definitely they will ask such kind of questions. So majorly licensing one. Oracle JDK is a licensed one from the Oracle. So nowadays they changed the license, no, subscription model. Earlier they used to charge only based on the usage. Now they are charging head count of the complete total head count of the company instead of usage. Due to that, no, most of the companies moving from the Oracle JDK to Open JDK. So while doing that, we need to consider these things like licensing, right? As I told, Oracle JDK is commercially licensed, whereas Open JDK is open source. And in the market, there are different vendors are there to provide this Open JDK, like Eclipse, Adoptium, Amazon Carrot, Microsoft Azure OpenJDK, Red Hat OpenJDK, different one. And based on our ecosystem, we need to choose that one. Generally, we can choose whatever best is there. So apart from that, so here performance tuning is there, right? Oracle, if you use Oracle JDK, it included some proprietary optimizations for certain workloads, which won't be available in the Open JDK. For that workaround, there are third parties who are maintaining this one. They provide the support for that. We need to pay minimal amount for that particular features. Then JVM tuning and profiling. So it is very important to understand how our application is performing, so that we can use this JVM tuning and profiling. JDK may have additional features for JVM profiling and tuning that OpenJDK does not offer those things. So those are the things, and workaround again third party we need to rely on that one if we are using those features in our project. Long term support. So right, all versions are not long term support. Few versions are long term support, like Oracle JDK, JDK 8, 11. 17 or 21 latest one. These are the LTS, long term support one. So both, Oracle JDK also long-term support, OpenJDK also long-term support. With respect to Oracle JDK, so they will take care complete support and extending the security updates kind of thing. If we are using OpenJDK, that responsibility is on our shoulders. Like in the sense we were using that one, so we should proactively make one process observing and any security patches or else any updates are there with respect to whatever we are using version, we have to implement that. Sometimes they will give some questions also, coding and some coding, just they will test a small, giving small logical program. In this case, he asked to write a program in Java to find out the highest number which are below 50, highest number that should be below 50. So array contains 1 to 1000. So these are the numbers whatever here mentioned: 1 2 3 4 5 6 100 48 48 500. So in this case, we have to filter and take the numbers which are less than or equal to 50, and we need to show that one. What we need to do, we have to iterate by using for loop, and the number should be less than 50, and we need to take the number should be less than 50 and take highest number, right? Less than 50 and highest. So what we are doing here, number less than 50, that number whatever number is there, right, that should be less than 50. If 100 comes, it will not enter into the if loop. If 1 2 3 4 48 up to, it will come. So once it is done, right, first time for example 1 is there, right, it is less than 50, and nothing is there, highest minus 1, right. When you compare 1 greater than minus 1, true, it will come, and highest might be having 2. Next time it will come 2. So 2 is less than 50, yes, and number is 2 greater than highest holding 1 now. So 2 greater than 1, that is true, then highest will be replaced with the 2, like that it will come to all the things, it will print 48. Once that is done, again they are asked to print highest number below 50 which is not repeatable. For example, if you see here 1 2 3 4 5 6 10 48, 48 is there, right, below 10, which is repeated. They don't want this 48, they need no, which is not repeatable one. In this case we have to ignore this 48 48. Next one is 32 33, we need to print that one. For that we need to define one map, right, which contains the key and value. Key is the number and value is the occurrence. So for this, if you see while iterating a number, and no, value is the occurrence. So first time if it is not present, it will take 0 plus 1. If it is already present, it will take that number and it will add 1. So once it is done that, then we have to take the we have to iterate that one, right. So count less than 50, same thing, and here occurrence we have to check that one, right. Included one more condition when we compare with the previous one. So count map dot get number equal to 1, and number greater than highest number. So same logic will be executed. In this case we will get 33. Okay. The next one is why do we need Spring Boot? So definitely there will be, if you are seeing the Java profile, either you are no fresher or else below 10 years, more than 10 years, definitely there will be one question on Spring Boot. So they might ask why we need, or else what are the components, what are the features, or else they will take one particular features which are provided by the Spring Boot, like auto configuration, embedded server, else actuators. And then they will ask, in this question, in this scenario, they asked why do we need Spring Boot, right? Whenever we want to implement microservices architecture, microservices, by using microservices architecture, that time that should be quickly developed, right, which should not be depend on any other services. It should be independently development and deployment as well. For that we need embedded servers. Those features are given by Spring Boot, and due to that, so no, development will be faster. Okay. So that is the things you can take the examples, features, and explain according to your experience. What is auto configuration? This is auto configuration is one of the feature from the micro Spring Boot only, right? He took that auto configuration. This is important thing one, right? Auto configuration in the sense, so whenever any class or object needs to be become as a Spring Bean, that should be configured with the Spring container. So to do that one, before Spring Boot, there are two approaches. One is externally we have to do. One is XML based configuration, and the second thing is annotation based one, Java based one. So whenever we do that, that time only Spring container will treat and maintain the lifecycle of that particular object as a Spring Bean. But in Spring Boot, what happens? So if that particular no dependency is or class in the class path, automatically it will create the object. No need to explicitly configure that one. That means auto configuration, which makes faster, right? It saves time to effort by eliminating the need to manually configure each part of your application. That is the beauty. For example, if h2 is detected, right, then it will automatically create the data source for h2, or else oracle data source kind of thing. This is the one you have to explain like that. Then how do you handle the rate limit between microservices? So for example, this is quite commonly we implement in our projects, right? So for example, he gave one example, HR service, and there are two services, HR service and employee service. HR service is invoking services of employee service. Uh, so in this case, this employee service is implemented rate limit within the second. It can serve up to 10 requests. If it comes more than 10 within the second, then it will return the error. So he asked how do we handle that one. So and we can take give the more no what is no whenever it is there, we need to some techniques are there, right? Retry logic. So 428 status code that is used for rate limit only. Whenever we get that one message is there, then we need to retry that one, or else we can use a circuit breaker also. So in the circuit breaker is a design pattern. There are different implementations. One is Strix, another one is Resilience 4J, or else nowadays a Spring Cloud circuit breaker also is there to provide the cascading failures. So that failure should not disturb our application. For that circuit breaker we will use. In this scenario, whenever that error comes from the employee service, it will open the circuit. That means fallback method will be called with the executed with the default no whatever static response. Then retry. So queuing requests, you can do that one, and a graceful error handling also by circuit breaker is there, right? These are the points we need to mention. So one or two points also enough only, but if you want to more explanation, if he is ready to listen your explanations, you go ahead one by one like that. Then last question is how does the fallback mechanism works in the Strix? I gave this explanation in a circuit breaker. That's why he pointed on Strix. Nowadays, no one is using Strix. Most of the projects move to resilience. All new projects are using resilience only for circuit breaker. So in this scenario, what happens? We need to configure the method. This is the call service is a service method where business logic is there. So in this call service is going to connect the employee service downstream system, and we need to mention how much time we need to wait for the response, right? For example, 1 second, milliseconds kind of thing. Then if we don't get, if downstream system is not responding within that time, then it will circuit breaker opens, then callback method will be executed. So while defining callback method, we need to make sure name can be anything, this fallback method name, but no return type and parameters must be same, so it will return. In this case, a service temporarily unavailable, please try again later kind of thing message we will give. This is the static method. This is how they will ask. So there are some more questions also, like at last they will ask, no, where and all your expertise kind of thing. You have to describe that. Then they will ask, do you have any questions at last? Then you can no, very intellectually ask some questions like what is the roadmap and what are the technologies they are using, or else is there any no plan to implement any latest technologies in the market or architectures kind of thing. So it will help to understand that one. That's it. Thank you.